invading your property? Get it off your chest at 430-1043.
What to do? And boy, two of your favorite banks are merging into one, and they were your favorite banks for different reasons. So now your favorite bank is going, and it's never coming back once it's approved by the regulatory authorities, and I think that it will. I mean, the big guys who are rolling around in gold right now, they're probably really happy about it. The little man on the ground, we're not happy about this. Wednesday morning, getting off your chest. Yes. De-risking continues in the financial sector in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other countries. By the way, it's not just SVG. Let me list out the other countries for you. CIBC First Caribbean in Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts, Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think I saw another country being listed, but it's not in the official release. I could double check for you. But de-risking is a process of comparing the risk versus benefits per se. So, for example, right? You are operating a business, and the type of business that is being operated, if you make a slip up, let's say you can get in trouble, right? So if you're operating with money, you pay out too much money, you pay the wrong person money, you stand to lose, which cuts down on your profits. So there is a risk involved in that. The risking, in simplest terms, is saying it's not worth it. The money that I'm making, it is not worth the risk and the struggles and the challenges. It's just not worth it. So let me pack up my bags and leave. That's exactly what is happening here with CIBC. Now, I'm not too sure if you guys remember or knew, but over the years, CIBC, they have been reducing their staff. Up to this year, they sent home a couple people. I think it was a way to reduce their expenses. So the same people were operating with the same customers, and it was a really hard time. So maybe this is the light at the end of the tunnel. Who knows? Some responses here coming from the WhatsApp. Remember, it's Wednesday. We get things off our chest. Crystal morning. The process of de-risking continues, and not just in the banking sector. At the end of August, the only Big Four audit firm in SVG closed their entire audit department in SVG, making 14 people redundant. It's a case of risk versus rewards. Some more responses. Good morning, Crystal. My heart is so heavy and sad over my sweet SVG. Every morning you wake up is some negative or sad news coming out of my country. What are we doing? And the political divide is widening, even worse than before. It's like when the river come down and it washed down the sides of the banks, it's widening like that. My sweet Vinci people, please unite and let us pull our country together. That skinny, fabulous, sweet SVG just put tears to my eyes, because those of us in foreign truly love our island. Beg up yourself and continue to inform us. You know what? I'm going to leave the bad news next time for last. And I'm going to share the really good news first, all right? Here's some more responses. Penny Bank and the RBTT are owned by St. Lucia. RBTT do not do wires anymore. These processes are sent to St. Lucia. What role had our government played, or has our government played? My uncle built the first Barclays Bank. Remember, Republic Bank also bought Scotiabank. Did our government play a factor in these financial issues? Are they tired of the government and their borrowings? Scotiabank still exists in full in St. Lucia. Credit unions have to step up their services with better online banking. Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines had majority shares of NCB, but SVG bought back our shares. Good morning, Crystal. What will happen to persons' money is being held inside of inside of CIBC? Well, they're not really held inside. Well, they're held at, more than likely, new accounts will be opened at the new bank. When I say new bank, not a new bank, but new to the accounts that are at CIBC. That's what happened. You basically just transfer all assets and liabilities to the purchaser. So the new owner, they will acquire all the customers, unless, of course, those customers go and close those accounts and transfer to other institutions if they're not in agreement with moving to the new bank. If they don't want to move to the new bank, they will just close and go somewhere else. But the monies you would go towards the new bank. So you will be able to access those funds once it's approved and once it's all well and good. Once everything is smooth, because you have to sort out a lot of things. People have to be paid off, and then you have to figure out who will walk away, and then you have to, the standard of customer service at both banks, you have to maintain that, and a whole bunch of other nitty-gritty. But they will just go over to Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you'll be able to access that account that you had at CIBC in Georgetown, in various Grenadine Islands, all over the place. So more than likely, you would not have your debit card anymore. You would have to use the one at the new bank. You would not have access to the old online banking platform. You would have to use the one of the new bank. The services that are offered at the new bank, that's what it's going to be. You're not going to have the mobile banking anymore. Hello, good morning. You're not going to have that fancy app that CIBC offered anymore. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sister.
What's up?
Thank you for allowing me again. I just want to let you know, Crystal, that you seem very concerned about people, but think about something as important as what is happening at the private banks. Our own taxpayers' money. Not, it's mine, it's yours, it's your young child own. He needs that. That is his money. And we are not having for 20 years any account. And so recently, remember, we heard 95 million missing, not accounted for the NCB. And mind you, that is up
At
to
the NCB?
NCB. And that is mind you, that is up to 2015. But look at the reality of what is happening. For 20 years, that section 70, 75, and 76 that I speak about, that says the Auditor General, the Accountant General, must liaison with all of the government institutions and statutory bodies to make sure that the account for money is not in place. And so therefore, there is no accountability. And so, you remember some time ago we heard over 389 missing at the NCB Bank. And, here is Dr. Friday stressing what happened in 2015. But remember also, recently, we heard St. Vincent opposition wants government to account for over $700 million. That is 2017. Nobody know how 1 cent of that money went, Crystal, to Bill Argyle. And I'm saying
Nobody at all. Or
nobody, Crystal. The people here, me and you don't know. We don't bother even with writing them. But I'm saying to you, the problem, my sister, is that there's 0% accountability in terms of how monies are being spent. I am sorry what is happening at CIBC. It will affect some people.
You still a customer down there?
No, my sister, my money ran out. Right. So
Oh,
that's
I was gonna ask you how you feel about the changes. All right, well, never mind.
let me say about the changes. And my sister, changes will come. It's just that,
You know what the changes are?
no, I don't, my sister, you
Oh,
don't
you
know.
just tune in.
No, yes, I just tuned in, to be honest.
Oh, so no,
Don't
it's
feel
Wednesday.
bad.
You know you
No,
could
well,
call with
let
anything.
me say, I was doing, no,
Oh.
my sister, there are a lot of things I have to do. I have a dog. I have to prepare it to, in order
But
to get
maybe
it.
you should cut down on your radio time if you have so
The
much work
radio
to do.
time can't cut down because the radio
I
time
will
is
tell-
limited.
You just there on the radio,
My
morning, noon,
sister,
and
let me tell you
night.
something, Let me tell you something.
All right.
Let me
Speech
say this,
now.
A man came here from a bank to tell me take 6 months rest off a radio so that I could get a life. And I'm saying radio is not a fun. Radio is to defend your child. Radio is to make sure that if you die today, your child and your grandchildren don't make the radio some kind of deranged system. The
So
population is
you are beginning to shout. The class here at the wake up call, we do not like shouting students. You will be put out of the class. And furthermore, if it happens again, you will be put on detention. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Carr. This is another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Kings. Is Kingsley taxi boss?
Yeah.
Kingsley's a real long time ago now, man.
No. Sometimes you have to listen. But hey, what time, right?
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Banking. Let me ask you this too.
Mm-hmm.
How many banks we have in St. Vincent and Gurney?
Plenty. We have the one at Heritage Square. We have Court Bank. We have First St. Vincent Bank, Bank of St. Vincent and Grenadine, CIBC, Royal Bank, Geco, KCCU, Kingston.
I don't agree with you.
Plus,
We only have 4 banks in St. Vincent and Gurney.
commercial banks. Well, Sisona.
Okay, so you understand where I'm
So we
going, right?
have 4 commercial banks and a ton load of financial institutions.
Right.
All
And
right. Good.
banks are governed and the regulation through the central bank, right? Because, central banks is the one who put the protocols and things in place so the banks to operate, right?
It's true. Mm-hmm.
And the FSA, the Financial Service Authority, deals with credit union and other financial institutions who resembles banks, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, okay. And Mr. Hamilton just said $95 million is missing. That is misinformation he's telling on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 posters on a Tuesday night program that I do some places, and they were speaking about this money. The money is not missing. The money can be accounted for. So it's for him and the NDP to come and peddle as far as what I say, $95 million can be accounted for and can say where the money is being spent. Christian, you walk in the bank, I may come to the bank and write a check to you. You keep the check for a while before you actually cash it. It is not going to be realistic that this sum of money is paid out in the bank until you cash the check. So people have to understand you can't dwell on this information and put it as a mischief by people who want to make a bold statement and say that $95 million can be accounted
And
for.
I don't see why at this time I have to explain that again.
Yes,
Because you went through this already.
Yeah, and people have to understand that the Bank of St. Vincent and Grenadines and the other 3 banks that you mentioned have to have a certain amount of money allocated somewhere in the central bank deposit to say this is a base, it's a financial base in case we find ourselves in some difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, they put the regulation in place. The Financial Service Authority in St. Vincent and Grenadines regulate billionaire loans and those other things, but I just can't understand, as you say, you have dealt with it at several locations, and for some reason people not paying attention.
No.
But the chance, some of the business and transport and new banks and things, as you say, they have their policy in place, they will improve on some of the customer service, they will do things that make the transition easy. So I don't think there will be a run on any bank who decided to sell or change ownership in terms of repeating its amount of money that is hard. I think it will be transition will be smooth and we don't have to worry about anything because like I say, the central bank have policies and we have a financial service authority
Yeah.
in Simpson again to do things the right way. Have a
The
wonderful
only
weekend.
thing, though, Kingsley, that
Yes.
customers might worry about, there are differences between the sort of products and services that are offered at both banks.
Yes.
So once you are moving over, the products and services that you would have had at CIBC, they would no longer be available to you. That is, as a customer, whether it's business banking or personal banking, that is one thing
Yes.
that you will worry about. For some loans as well, the interest rate might be different. So are they going to readjust the interest rate for some people, or are they going to keep it the same?
Well, I think they will adjust the interest rate because let me tell you something, right? Banking is about making money.
Of course.
Banking is about providing services for persons, and you know what is the only thing I keep worrying myself about. You mentioned in passing the credit union, and they are wonderful financial agencies in terms of credit union. But when you do business with them, you compare the interest rate you pay to a credit union than the one you pay to the bank. If it is easier for you to access your money for business and proposal, it's best you go at a bank. Credit union refreshing of poor people, but the interest that you pay back is too much, and people have to pay attention to those fine prints because banking is about banking, credit union is about banking and making money to sustain the financial ability. Okay?
Every business is about making money, Kingsley.
Yeah, so it's a 3 million, that's why they cut on his staff. I gone.
Excuse me? What
Have a
kind of
wonderful
statement you making on the people radio station?
I know that nobody seems to know what is the Fuji is. I don't know if he gone for the vacation or the vacation permanent or he was actually so.
Have a good day. Have a good day.
that-
Have a good day, Kingsley. Have a
Stephen
good day.
Method.
Have a good day, sir. It's wonderful having you back in the internet. Come back with trouble. All right. Some more responses coming in on that one there. Let me see who this one is. This person is boy. General Bess McKenzie. Pretty lady. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning, Jimmy. Jimmy is always coming when a joke crack in. You understand? Some more responses there, but guess what's gonna happen at this time? It is 7:44. We're gonna be joined by Flo in a minute or two. So we're gonna take a break and the live on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us there. Remember to like, share.